Welcome to Bike Week Radio Show.
Powered by Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance.
Bike Week Radio Show with 6-time AMA champion and Motorcycle Hall of Famer Broc Glover, Bobby Wooldridge, Paul Carruthers, and Scott Cox. It's Bike Week Radio Show on San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Good morning and welcome into Bike Week Radio Show on San Diego Sports Leader, the mighty 1090. Thank you so much for making us a part of your Sunday morning routine. What a show we have today.
It's a goodie. Live in-studio guests.
Indeed, 2 in-studio guests. We might as well welcome in right now. Why have them sit here in silence just watching Scott and I jabber?
Live in-studio co-hosts, so we can cruise today, Bobby.
You know what? Let's just sit back, relax. I got my cup of coffee via my Bike Week Radio Show mug.
I'm liking that.
Mm-hmm. And also, we have Mike Lindsey in studio and Teea Wyatt in studio, and they're here to talk about a big ride coming to the San Diego County Fair, not the Del Mar Fair, San Diego County Fair.
I know. I made the mistake. I let Teea in the front door to the studio here this morning. I says, "Oh, yes, okay, you're from the Del Mar Fair." She says, "Well, technically, I'm from the San Diego County Fair," but my compadre Mike here said, "Hey, it's the Del Mar Fair."
Yeah. And they have the 13th annual Commotion by the Ocean motorcycle ride coming, and we'll tell you about that a little bit later. And any active military out there, I know there's a lot of them listening because we get some great feedback via the Bike Week Radio Show.
They're riding for free.
They are riding for free. Why even keep that as a spoiler alert? So if you want to ride for free, your active military, we'll give you all the details about that. Broc Glover will be joining us later in the program. He's doing some fantastic work. He's Solana Beach right now.
He's in. He's in Encinitas at Moonlight Beach with the Glover family because he and Team Dangerous, named after his son Dane, they are leading the charge for the annual cystic fibrosis walk that's taking place on the beach. It starts about right now. And
Brockster always doing some fantastic work, as well as the entire Glover family and cousins and everything. Everybody's involved in the CF
whole
Foundation.
Neighborhood.
And so it's a lot of fun. In fact, Kim from 105 Max, I was going to say the Walrus,
she's there.
But Max FM, she's out there seeing the thing. So
she's been involved in the past.
Exactly.
And big happy birthday shout out to Broc because yesterday was the big 5-5. Yeah. So Broc was up at Hangtown at the opening round of the AMA Outdoor, the Lucas Oil motocross season. It was a fantastic race, and I'm really anxious to hear Broc's impressions. I watched it on television yesterday, but beautiful conditions. Hangtown is a much storied location for the motocross world, and Broc reminded me that this was his 39th weekend at Hangtown. Now, not as a competitor, granted, but he manages all the top riders, including the event 450 winner yesterday, Eli Tomac, who smoked the field. So I'm hoping Broc has a chance to call in and give us the blow-by-blow.
Yeah, we'll try to see if we can steal Broc away and wish him a happy birthday and get the update from Brockster's travels on the road. But let's head out to the hotline. Once again, our Bike Week Radio Show correspondent, Paul Carruthers, is on the road.
Yes, he is.
He's out in Virginia, and what he describes as go to nowhere and then make a left. That's
he's out in the boonies. But it's a fantastic facility, as he'll tell us. Virginia International Raceway is quite a place, and he's in a beautiful area of the country. Anxious to hear from him.
Indeed. Well, we miss him dearly. Let's head out to the hotline right now. Here is Paul Carruthers with the news.
Nobody knows the news better than Bike Week Radio Show.
This was an age when only men were allowed to read the news.
And only Bike Week Radio Show has Paul Carruthers.
See, I'm here. We can do the news now. It's all right, everyone. We can do the news. Hold on. Everyone, why are we all standing around? Let's go.
Alrighty, Paul Carruthers, take it away. Tell us where you're at and what you're up to, my friend. On the road once again.
I'm in beautiful Danville, Virginia. Actually, I'm about 25 minutes from Danville in a little town called Alton, A-L-T-O-N. But the racetrack here at Virginia International Raceway is absolutely, it's beautiful. It's pristine. It's got some soul. The buildings, if they could tell stories. I mean, it's just a really cool place, and it's a really nice racetrack. And it's a racetrack that our riders have always liked. Unfortunately, we haven't been here in I think 5 years, so it's been off the calendar. So with Moto America, we were able to bring it back. and the riders and teams are obviously thrilled to have it back because it is a really nice racetrack. And you know, we've struggled with some bad weather at our first two events, and the weather here has just been amazing. And we have a big crowd and a lot of smiling faces. So we're pretty pumped. We had a couple of races yesterday. We ran our Super Sport race, which turned out to be a good battle between Josh Herron and he actually passed J.D. Beach on the very last lap. Those two had kind of battled the entire time. So it was a good race. Garrett Gerloff was third on the other factory Yamaha. Garrett had a crash on Friday and broke his little pinky finger pretty badly, but sort of taped it up and was able to continue and race and put in a pretty gutty performance to finish third. The Super Stock 600 class ran yesterday as well, and Joe Roberts won that race. He's won all three of those this year, so he's got a perfect record, and we'll see if he can keep that going today because we have two races for each of the classes. Both of our Superbike races run today. The first one's coming up here pretty quick, and Josh Hayes is on pole for that. His teammate Cameron Bobier is close behind in second, and then Yoshimura Suzuki's Roger Hayden is also on the front row in third. This morning I was able to get up. Actually, I was up way earlier than the race started for a change. When I'm at home, I have to get up at 5 a.m. to watch MotoGP, and of course, back here in the East, it was at 8 a.m., so it's a pretty nice time to have a little breakfast and watch some MotoGP, and that was a heck of a race. For those who haven't seen it, make sure you do.
I watched
Jorge
it.
Lorenzo was practically perfect, led the entire way. There was a bit of a skirmish there in the first corner, and Marc Marquez was a little exuberant, I think, and kind of he ended up going backwards in the race. He was back as far as like 6th or 7th at some point, and after a great battle with Andrea Iannone, he ended up 4th. So he's been off the podium a couple of times here this year, and he finds himself 4th in the championship, which is exactly where he's used to being. Valentino Rossi was 2nd, so he still holds the championship points lead, and Jorge Lorenzo was able to climb up into 2nd after winning his 2nd race in a row. So the MotoGP was definitely exciting and definitely worth watching. And I didn't get a chance to catch up on any motocross yesterday. I saw some results, but I think Broc's going to fill us in on that a little bit later in the show. Yeah, it's been a good trip. I come back to California tomorrow, and hopefully we have two really good Superbike races today, and we have something to talk about next week.
Hey, Paul, did I read online perhaps that maybe Friday in practice or qualifying that our buddy Josh Hayes had a little bit of a mishap?
With Josh Hayes?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was lucky. I mean, he crashed at really high rate of speed, and the bike got out. Where the bike ended up, I guess there was it's all beautiful grass around here, but I guess there was a bit of a ditch, and the bike hit the ditch, and it got airborne, and I mean, it destroyed itself. I talked to the Yamaha guys on Friday night. They were obviously here a bit late working. They basically just had to build them an entirely new motorcycle from the ground up because there was hardly any bits that they could even save. So I think it was a case of take out the titanium bolts and throw the rest in the trash. But they did build him a new bike, and the one he crashed was his favorite bike. He was able to ride the backup bike until they got it fixed. And yesterday, when he earned pole position, was on the bike that they built on Friday night. So
he's tough.
He's kept his crew busy, but at least made it worthwhile for him because he was able to get pole position. And in this morning's warm up, he was fastest again. So I think the old guy's still got a bit of fight in him, and it's good to see because he just lives down the road there in Oceanside.
Hey, and there's always a radio career for him to fall back on if he decides, man, this racing thing's kind of getting long in the tooth. We love him here in the Bike Week Radio Show studio.
Yeah, I'm going to drag him into the studio. I actually talked to him a little bit about it yesterday, and when he gets a free weekend, I'll drag him in and we can sit down and he can give us a mid-season update and tell everybody how great Moto America is and how great their communications manager is.
I don't know. You've done a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, Paul, I want to talk.
What could he add?
Yeah, Paul, I want to talk to you about that. Anyways, this is your third time out, I believe, for you guys. Are things starting to go a little smoother for your end?
Yeah, I'm getting the hang of things. It's quite a bit different than the job I was doing before, but I'm enjoying it a lot, and I think I'm doing okay. I mean, it's different. I run the press conferences. I run the media center, and I'm kind of making sure those guys have what they need to do their job, but at least I know what they need because I used to do their job.
Mm-hmm.
So it's working out really good, and we got a lot of pre-event publicity for this race, and I think it shows with the amount of people that are out here. The local newspaper guys got behind it, and we were able to get some of our guys on local TV and radio, and that's the kind of thing you have to do to make these events grow, is get in there in advance and let these people know that there's a race in town, especially one that's, been gone for 5 or 6 years, because people tend to forget about it. And when we go to Road America in 2 weeks, that's kind of a different story, because that's an event that's been on the calendar for as long as I can remember. They always get the last weekend in May, and it's one of those events where people plan for it and go out there and camp, and they've always got a good crowd. So that one will be a little easier for us, but getting these other ones built up, the ones that have gone away for a while, a bit tougher job. But the weather in Atlanta kind of screwed us there, but the hard work's paid off here, because there's a lot of people, and they seem to be having a good time.
I was going to say, you guys didn't make it easy on yourselves between the weather and going back to places you haven't been in a couple years. You guys didn't make it easy for yourselves.
No, and I've told these guys, it's like, we've faced a lot of challenges with the weather and things like that, and we've been able to come through all of it, and we've had safe races, and the racers and the teams are happy, and we didn't get a good crowd at Atlanta because of the weather, but we still all left there pretty happy. And then you come to a place like this and you see some people, and it really makes it, all that hard work that everybody's been putting in, it starts to pay off when you see that you've got a good crowd and they're all having a good time. So yeah, hey, if you can get through the first couple of races that we got through,
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically things should get a little easier.
Hey, they got a tough guy leading the way, right? You got George Patton and General MacArthur and Schwarzkopf all in one in the person of Wayne Rainey.
We got some good guys working with us, and everybody's putting in good effort, and Wayne Rainey's great to work with, and he takes care, he wants stuff taken care of from the smallest details down. So, we make sure all the boxes are checked, and so far so good.
All right, Paul. Well, great stuff, my friend. I know you got a long day ahead of you, so we'll let you get back to work, but appreciate you and get home safe.
Yeah, looking forward to coming back to California tomorrow, and I'll check in with you guys later.
All right, thanks,
See you,
buddy.
pal. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Paul Carruthers right there, reporting from the field. We got coast to coast here on Bike Week Radio Show. Not
literally
too bad.
have both coasts covered.
Indeed. And also another man who was on the road and celebrating a very special birthday. Broc Glover on the hotline now. Brockster, happy birthday, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Robbie Boop. Hey, the only thing good about this birthday that I could think of is that I get some senior discounts at a couple of local golf courses like the Crossies in Carlsbad, places like that. They're cutting us old dudes some slack on the green fee.
Wait, say they're which course again one more time? Maybe we can get a free round of golf out of them.
Is this an unpaid promotional announcement?
Yeah, really.
How much we love playing golf, Ed.
Yeah, Bobby's my partner in crime.
There we go. Brockster, before we get into your new segment, you're out right now doing a wonderful thing with Team Dangerous. Fill us in about that a little bit.
Yeah, a little play on the way our son spells his name, and Dane G as in Glover, but we have his name is Team Dangerous. It's cystic fibrosis. May is cystic fibrosis month, but May is the month that they do all the Great Strides walks where they raise money, and teams you put together teams of and do donations for those teams, and this is their biggest single event, and I call it a single event. It's called the Great Strides Walk, but in general, it's a national event, and these walks go over the month of May all over the country, including Hawaii, which I got to figure out how to do a Team Dangerous walk in Hawaii. What do you think?
I'm in for that one. Yeah.
I'm up.
Would the Bike Week crew join me on that one?
I'll even build us surfboards, Team Dangerous surfboards.
Ooh,
huh?
Yeah, so where we are right now, Bobby, the answer to the question is we're out at Moonlight Beach. We're getting set for a little bit of a pre-walk ceremonies at 9:30, and then at 10 o'clock we do a little 2 to 3 mile walk, depending on how far you want to walk. But the most of it, the walk part of it, isn't important to me. The fact that you can donate to a good cause. But even if you Google Team Dangerous and you spell our son's name Dayne, and or if you go to the CFF.org and search out that team in San Diego, it's real easy to find. And, anything helps. We've got people donating anywhere from $5 to $1,000 or Bobby Woo, you're going to donate $1 million, right? Is that what I heard?
Absolutely. Once I get a loan,
you might want to hold Scott that here. Check.
Yes, and so we need to stamp out this cystic fibrosis. There's a lot of actually some great local companies like Vertex Pharmaceuticals up in Torrey Pines and things doing some. Not only going to help cystic fibrosis, but what these guys are learning to do is going to end up helping other diseases in the future. So there's some really bright people in town, and it's great that we live here in San Diego in a biotech hub. But let's talk motorcycles too, huh?
Let's talk Hangtown and your 39th. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know
39 years, right?
That number from, because the very first time I was there was in 1976. I skipped a couple in the the late 90s, I think. But boy, I've been going there for a long, long time. You're right, and I think this is the 47th annual Hangtown event, and we had the great honor yesterday to actually honor Bill Urban, who won the first one in
San Diego boy, Billy Urban.
Yeah, Bill Urban. And then we also got to honor Brad Lackey, who won the 72 round. So we had the first two winners up there. I did see Bob Hanna floating around. He wasn't interested in coming on stage really, and also Danny Laporte. So we had some of the 71, 72. We also had the 76 and 77 winners, and 78 winner with I think yours truly here. But we had a lot of the early guys up there, so it was a lot of fun. But the real action was on the track, and it looked to me, honestly, when it was all said and done, besides perfect 75-degree weather and a lot of rain a couple days earlier, so the track was epic, and a couple of crazy designs. Like, did you guys see the half pipe on TV?
Yeah, I like that. What did the riders think of that, Brockster?
I think they thought it was a little gimmicky, to be honest, but it ended up, they played with it after the amateur day, the day before, and they ended up, getting it okay. It was an interesting design. If you didn't see it, it was basically just exactly like a snow half pipe. I mean, the local Lake Tahoe ski resort areas are a big influence, obviously, at the Sacramento, and they just built a half pipe. You dropped into it just like a half pipe. You went back and up toward the, take a 90-degree turn to the right and worked your way out of it at the very end of it. And it was kind of interesting gimmicky item, but something new.
Tell us about Eli Tomac. I mean, how does a guy finish with that kind of a lead?
A guy that he might as well put his house there or something. This guy, the very first time he ever entered a national, he's one of the only riders ever to do that. I think Marty Smith might be the only other guy to enter it because he entered the very first AMA 125 national. So he had, whoever won was the guy who entered, was the first national they ever entered. In his case was Marty Smith back in 74, I think.
And he wins.
But Eli Tomac, his very first AMA pro race ever was at Hangtown, and he won. And it was one of the only riders to ever do such an accomplishment. And then he comes there yesterday, lays down the fastest practice lap in qualifying, and then just blitzes both motos. And, good starts, which he seemed to suffer from in Supercross. He got two good starts, and he just was clearly the quickest guy, but Dungey was not far behind him. And those two guys were miles ahead of third place. And so those two guys separated themselves from the field. And then in the 250 class, it kind of looks like Marvin Musquin and the reigning champion Jeremy Martin are going to be the two guys that are going to separate themselves. We thought Cooper Webb was going to be there. He was there early in the race, and I don't know exactly why, but he definitely faded to a distant third. So I don't know if he's got the...
And he ended up on the ground and hauled away by the Asterisks.
Well, that was in the second moto.
Second moto, true.
I was talking about the first moto.
Yeah.
But so I think that he was the guy that everybody thought would have the speed to possibly run with Martin and Musquin. But Marvin Musquin, from France, he's world champion in the past, and he's this year's Supercross champion in the lights or the 250 group. Between himself and Jeremy Martin, I think it's going to be a two rider race for both classes all series long is what it's looking like.
So we're back to guys like Ken Roxon. They showed him. You get a sporadic story on trying to follow it on television, but apparently he gutted it out. He reported that he had some sort of a a fracture or something that he specifically said wasn't related to racing, but he's carrying over an injury that perhaps haunted him, and maybe that was also part of the reason why he left the Supercross season prematurely. But what are your thoughts on Ken Roczen and his performance yesterday?
The situation is Ken Roczen hasn't been Ken Roczen since round 4 of the Supercross series in January at Oakland. So that being said, think about how many races have gone by since then. Is Ken Roczen capable of going that speed when he's healthy? Absolutely. Absolutely. Is he healthy right now? Absolutely not. So, it's a very difficult, it's kind of like jumping on a moving train, to catch up to the pace of these top guys. When you're not healthy, it's a very difficult task to accomplish. And he's, his back was bothering him, but I know he's had this nagging ankle injury that's been, like you said, the fracture that probably was not diagnosed right away from the Oakland jump, and we landed real hard and cased it. And so all that being said, he re-aggravated it later in the series when he came back, so then he finally decided to take the rest of the Supercross series off, and now he looks like he's got that and a bothersome back. So, boy, it's going to take a lot to beat Tomac and Dungey when you're 100% and he's not 100%. So to answer your question is, I don't know if you can ride yourself into recovery and, into a race speed when you're trying to nurse injuries all week long and trying to get ready to race on Saturday. So it's a tall task. I don't know. Hopefully he'll be ready, and I'd love to see him up there, of course. But right now, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I'll say. And it was good to see him back in there. But there were some bright spots. Blake Baggett was showing some stuff yesterday.
Yeah,
it appeared to maybe fade a little bit in the second moto, but he still hung tight. And then congrats to Jason Anderson. Getting on the podium, putting that first 450 class podium for him, because this is his 450 motocross season. This is his rookie season.
Yeah, it was
rather.
pretty cool. I was walking up and I hear this guy, a dad talking to his son about, wow, it looks like Husqvarna's back, and you could tell the cross generation of the Husqvarnas of the 60s and 70s were so dominant, and then they kind of disappeared for 30 years.
Yeah, they really did.
Back. And so it was kind of neat to see that and talking about it. But and Adam Cincerello, he was the guy that everybody had a big wonder. This morning in the hotel, I get up yesterday morning, I walked down for breakfast. The pro circuit team's all down there having breakfast, and Adam Cincerello is sitting with Ivan Tedesco, and he's been working with Ivan Tedesco. So Hot Sauce has been helping him train, and that's kind of a little bit of a different. He worked with Alden Baker there, and so Ivan is kind of his riding coach. And so it was an interesting dynamic, and I thought, well, we'll see how this plays out. And then he goes and lays the fastest practice, the qualifying time, and then goes right out there and gets in the lead, and looks like this kid could possibly win the first moto. And he cross-rutted right in front of me and ended up going off the side of the track and crashing. Appeared a bunch of dirt went in his goggles. By the time he messed around getting his goggles back straightened out, he lost quite a bit of time. And then he never really came back to recover for the second moto. So what he showed for the first 5 or 6 laps of the first moto looked like, well, hey, this kid could be a championship contender. And then to throw 2 mediocre results in there at the end, and what was really tallied for the final official results was much worse than you would have expected based off his qualifying and his first 5 laps of the first moto. So it was, I do expect him to come back, but it was nice to see him come back. One of the odd things, did you guys see, the great big jump there, the 150-footer?
The Fly 150.
The Fly 150.
But it was funny because Grant Langston and Wygan on TV, they were saying, yep, well, that was about the Fly 140. I know the first time that Ken Roczen went across it, he just hammered hard, and, Langston, who's he's had some injuries in his career, and
right.
he's going, oh, man, that's just going to haunt him right there.
So let me ask you this question. So if you're Ken Roczen or you're Adam Cincerello and you have had shoulder injury like Adam has, and he seems, he's been battling so many injuries as a rookie, for God's sake. He's only 16, 17, 18 years old. You come back and you have all these injuries, and would you, on a track that's that long and the true savings of time to jump that jump was only minute amounts of time. When you're 4 seconds off the fastest
if at all,
lap,
yeah. Why would you do that?
Why in the world? And you're leading the race. I'm standing there with the team manager Pat Alexander from Suzuki. I mean, Pat's been around since the 70s with when I was on DG Hondas, and we're watching this, and he goes and midway, 4 laps into the race, he decides to go for that jump while leading the race. And I'm thinking to myself, why in the world would you do that? That's where Ivan Tedesco should have set him down after the race and said, that was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. Your shoulders are bad. You've had injuries. It's not worth risking casing a 150-foot jump by coming up 147 and hurting yourself or spraining something. You're leading the race. Don't do that unless it's the last race of the series and you're 3 points behind and you've got to win the championship. You don't take a risk like that. And just what you're saying with Ken Roczen, it's not worth it right now. The difference between him, if he could have eked out a third or a fourth or a fifth place finish, that would have been probably a good accomplishment for Roczen. But for those guys to be trying to do that crazy jump where the landing was hard if you cased it, it just made no sense for the whole season.
No, it was a waste of energy.
It was a waste of energy and a high-risk move.
It was exciting to see. Yeah, I agree with you. Strategy-wise, there was no strategy there, but it was exciting to watch. The track looked it really looked rough, and I saw a comment from Brett Metcalf just saying, in his opinion, that's the roughest track he's ridden on. But it was a pleasure. I hope the rest of the season follows that pattern.
Yeah, they did a good job. The Dirt Digger guys, it's a motorcycle club, and these guys have been at it, the Dirt Diggers North. And even as crazy as it seems, it was funny in the pre-race ceremonies. One thing that took place was a long time, he's actually like kind of the official historian for the club, Kevin Bridges.
Got married.
Told me he met his soulmate, and he grabbed myself and Brad. He goes, you guys have been such a part of Hangtown. Can you please be part of my wedding party here on my side? And I said, absolutely. And he got married, and congratulations. And it was kind of a neat thing, and lots of cheers, and the crowd was very receptive to it, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, good for him. He and his new bride, Penny. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, Bobby.
Brockster, appreciate it, buddy. Happy birthday one more time. I know you're excited to stay in town next week. Glen Helen, just in our backyard here in San Bernardino. You get to sleep in your own bed. And
I'll be in the studio next Sunday, too. So, Scott Cox, on the way out of that studio, we expect to see you at Moonlight Beach right at the end of the
I'll be there. Hey, I'm also bringing, by the way, next week I got Scott Wallenberg, the head of the maestro for our Bike Week radio show orchestra, will be in studio with big amps laying it down next Sunday.
And speaking of Scott Wallenberg, I saw his band, the Blues Addicts, did a nice little Team Dangerous donation. And you know what? Hey, like I said, everybody out there, if you're a big supporter of motorcycling and fans, you want to do a nice little generous deed in your life, the Team Dangerous, anything, $5, $10. Hey, skip the latte at Starbucks this week and give to a great cause.
That's a big difference.
Help all these kids and young adults fighting cystic fibrosis. If you could find it in your heart, that would. And
there are links right off the Bike Week Radio Show website, so you can find
Perfect, brother. And I'll see you a little bit later, Scotty. We're going to get on a little bit of walk at 10 o'clock, but I expect to see you about 10:15.
I'll catch you.
Huh?
Okay, pal.
All right, you guys have a great show.
See you, Brockster.
Bye-bye.
And indeed, you can check out those links through the Bike Week Radio Show Facebook page if you want to donate to the CF Foundation. And Broc Glover, I don't know where he finds the hours in the day, man, between working his regular job, doing Bike Week, raising money for CF. I mean, the guy never stinking sleeps.
He doesn't.
But,
I can attest to that.
Man,
he does not sleep.
We love Broc Glover, and we love the Glover family, and go Team Dangerous. Wish you guys luck as they get going at Moonlight Beach at 10 o'clock. But coming up next in studio, we got Mike, Lindsey, and Teea Wyatt here. The San Diego County Fair.
Yeah, we can cruise now. We're handing the show over to them.
Exactly. We got some big news coming up next right here on San Diego Sports Leader, my 1090. But right now, one of those helpful writing hints from our good friends at Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys. Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys have been representing riders for decades. And here's Chuck Coro from Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys to provide you with a helpful writing hint.
Police officers will do their best to generate an objective report when they investigate a traffic collision. If the officer says something at the scene you don't like, don't argue. As difficult as it may be, try to state your version rationally and calmly. If you believe that the officer was given incorrect information or the report itself is incorrect, you can later ask to supplement the report with your own version.
This helpful hint has been brought to you by Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys at 1-800-4BIKERS or online at russbrown.com.
Here's an idea. Bear with me. You could save quite a bit of money just by switching your motorcycle insurance to Geico. Piles of it, in fact. But there may not be a lot of room on your bike for all that extra cash. So I had somewhat of an idea. You could get one of those nifty little sidecars, pile it up with all that money you just saved, and merrily drive on your way. It's just a thought. Just off the top of my head.
Call Geico today for a free motorcycle rate quote. Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys are the real deal. Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys. Their entire practice is dedicated to representing motorcyclists. As riders themselves, they understand why you ride, the issues you face, and the motorcycle culture. For over 30 years, Russ Brown and his partner Chuck Coro have been helping injured motorcyclists and their families get the care and compensation they deserve. Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys also created BAM. BAM! A nationwide buddy system of over 2 million riders helping riders in the event of a roadside emergency. BAM offers free legal advice, and thanks to Russ Brown, they have staff on hand to take your call 24/7, 365 days a year.
Imagine a real person answering the phone 24/7.
Just call 1-800-4BIKERS for more information and to get your BAM card today. If you go down, call Russ Brown. 1-800-4BIKERS and online at russbrown.com.
You're listening to Bike Week Radio Show with Bobby Wooldridge, Broc Glover, and Paul Carruthers on San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Bike Week Radio Show, San Diego sports leader, mighty 1090. And it's that time of the year.
Love this time of the year.
Love this time of the year. Sunshine will be out. You get to switch from jeans into shorts.
I did.
Unfortunately, there's contradicting things going on here because I like to, firm it up, get into beach body mode as we get into summer. But then the San Diego Fair comes into town, and all I want to do is eat anything deep fried, wrapped in bacon.
Yeah.
Sticks of butter.
Deep fried butter.
Indeed.
Hey, the deep fried popsicle's the one that got me, right?
I got a friend. She said, "Ooh, deep fried pickles," and I was like, "Too healthy. Too healthy. I need deep fried something. Yeah, veggie in there. What do you get out of here? Something a little unhealthy already."
I'm opening a deep fried GMO stand.
Very nice. In studio, we got Teea Wyatt from the San Diego County Fair coming here June 5th through July 5th, and also Mike Lindsey, ambassador for Biggs Harley-Davidson in San Marcos. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Teea.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And so you guys are partnering up for the 13th annual Commotion by the Ocean motorcycle ride, and that is Saturday, June 20th, right in the heart of the San Diego County Fair, right dead smack right in the middle of the entire fair.
It'll be sunny.
Indeed. And so Biggs, you guys will be taking off from Biggs in San Marcos, Harley in San Marcos, and then riding directly into the San Diego County Fair.
That's correct. We got a really nice route that we take going through Del Dios Highway and coming in the back way through Loma Santa Fe. And then we ride around, actually past the fairgrounds, and we come in the back gate.
Solana Gate?
Solana Gate. Come in, well, not Solana Gate. It's by the fire station.
By the fire station. Yeah. Oh, that's even better.
Yeah. So
that's like the insider gate.
Exactly. Yeah,
see, only
awesome.
A guy who, Mike, we talked earlier in the green room. You worked for the fair.
Yeah.
Teea currently works for the fair, so you've got all that insider knowledge that none of us have, even those of us who grew up on the edge of the fairgrounds.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Tea's been great and very supportive, and she just kind of started working with me this year. And
lucky you.
Yeah, very lucky. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just a great event. We truly enjoy getting out there and getting the bikes on the fairgrounds, and it's just a great show. And
any brand, any bike,
open to all.
As long as you're street legal and you.
Yeah. Just because I ride a Harley doesn't mean you have to ride a Harley.
I love that attitude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And 13th annual, so all the
Lucky 13.
Exactly. And this thing is a well-oiled machine. By the time you get to 13, you guys know what you're doing, and you guys have it down. And $20 entry for those who want to come.
Which is an amazing value, I have to
Well, it's not. That doesn't get you just entry into the ride. That gets you entry into the fair, parking at the fair, as well as all kinds of swag bag. And so $20.
And an awesome ride with a bunch of cool people.
Indeed.
Definitely.
And so where can people sign up? What do they got to do?
They go to sdfair.com under the events page and find the motorcycle ride. You can enter and download the form and send it in.
Beautiful. Is there a drop-dead date? Can you show up on the 20th with your form in hand, or do you have to sign up, when you guys close registration?
Has to be postmarked by Monday, June 15th.
June 15th. All right, so people, mark your calendars. June 15th is the latest you can register for the June 20th ride. And also...
Now, here's an exception.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually get in for less than $20. Active military. Active military, riding for free, correct?
Correct. All they have to do is download the form, and on the bottom there's a box that they check that says they're active duty.
And we know for a fact there are a lot of active duty riders in San Diego County and beyond.
And I know there's a lot of people listening up in Oceanside. You're right there next to San Marcos. Come on down, free ride. You just go to Biggs. What time you guys be meeting at Biggs in San Marcos?
How's that day going to go?
Yeah, well, we start check-in at 8 o'clock. I'll be there obviously a lot earlier than that, trying to get things set up. And we have riders that come from like El Cajon, San Diego that ride up to Biggs,
so they can ride in with the right group.
With the group. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we break it up in groups, and I'm sure everybody out there knows Dan Plant from Good Morning San Diego.
We watch him on television.
He's our Grand Marshal this year, and he's totally excited. And when he's out there, he's 10 feet off the ground when he's interviewing people. He's about 20 feet off the ground now, waiting to do this ride. So it'll be a great time.
Indeed. So lead singer of Led Zeppelin, right? Is that?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. The other Plant.
And so 13th annual. Tell us about the first one, where it came about. Whose idea was this?
It was good. You were kind of breaking that down for us earlier, Mike. The first one, it came up as an idea. I mean, what was the mindset there?
Yeah,
hey, let's have a Harley event.
We all kind of coordinate with other fairs and kind of check out other fairs and see what they were doing. And they went.
And this is when you were working with the fair, correct?
Yes, and 13. It must have been 14 years ago now.
Had to have been.
They'd done that. And they had some event at another fair with motorcycles, so they came to me because they knew I ride and said, hey, they do this at this fair. What do you think about trying to put something together here? And I said, yeah, give me a little bit of time, and I'll make some calls. And lo and behold, we're on number 13 now. So it's been quite a change. It's been in different locations at the fairgrounds. That first year, we were in front of the grandstands on the tarmac, and I think we had maybe 50 bikes. And that's growing.
Hey, you have to drive your stake in the ground somewhere.
Yeah, that was the beginning. And last year, we were up to almost 250 bikes. And it's
I think
just
we'll
been
exceed
a blast.
That this year. Now that we're talking about it on Bike Week Radio Show, more.
250 plus bikers expected.
Plus.
Oh my goodness! I mean, so there you'll be noticed when you ride in with a group of 200, 300 bikers come rolling into the San Diego County.
And Teea, where will you be that day?
I will be at check-in, and then when I'm done, I go to the fair and meet them all there so that we can do our competition.
Oh, what competition?
We have the best custom bike, the best ladies bike, and a people's choice, and our new competition this year is the best three-wheeler.
Now, will this be like, where will the voting take place? Who votes? Do you have judges, or do people just come by and say?
Yeah, it's open to the public as far as the People's Choice Award goes, and then basically what I've done is when I'm out promoting to the various groups and different chapters, one of the caveats for them is to be a judge. They're directors, so I have like 5 or 6
good politicking
local.
There. You should run for office.
I don't know. I don't have a very good path, so it might not work.
Then you'd probably be president.
Yeah. So the local directors from the different chapters and stuff come out, and they're judges, and that way it's kind of fair and not one.
Yeah, I like that.
Run and everything.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing awards at 2:00 that day.
And the awards and any other celebrities that you can leak to us right now? I mean, this is Del Mar. It's the fair. It's a motorcycle ride. I mean, this thing just it's going to start sprouting heads.
You mean besides Teea?
Well, that goes without saying.
Okay. No, not that I'm aware
none
of.
None that you're at liberty to disclose right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at the concert schedule for Saturday, June 20th at the San Diego Fair.
And who's playing there?
We have Billy Idolized, a Billy Idol cover band. And we got a connection to Billy Idol right here on Bike Week Radio
Billy
Show.
Morrison, one of his guitarists, is a guest on Bike Week Radio Show.
Awesome.
And Billy's a total moto head.
And so
I think we're going to make some calls
indeed,
this week.
Billy Idolized, the cover band. I can't wait to, I would love to be there for that one.
Yeah.
Big Billy Idol fan here.
If they're really, we're going to call them out. We need to get a hold of Teea. We're going to work on this. We need to get a hold of of Billy Idolized and say, hey, if you're really going to be authentic, the man rides.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the whole band rides. All those crazy
Maybe
rockers.
we can orchestrate like a combo show. Have Billy Idolized, and then
And
all of a
Billy
sudden,
Idol.
like poof, a big cloud of smoke, and then the real Billy Idol
They can have
appears.
a Billy off.
Yes, and then everyone be scratching
I know
their
we're
eyes
gonna have
going, who
some
is
Billy
that?
Goats
Which one's the
there.
real one? Yeah. It's very, very cool. And let's take one quick time out here, but when we come back, we'll get into more. And also, dun-dun-dun-dun,
Oh, yeah.
we got some tickets to
Swag.
give away to the fair, as well as a ride into an entry form into the 13th annual Commotion by the Ocean motorcycle ride as well. And so we'll tell you how you can win those coming up next.
Yes, we will.
That's cliffhanger. That's what they call that in the biz, my friend.
Works for me, buddy.
And so if you want to call, 877-792-1090, 858-457-1090. If you got questions for Mike or Teea or Scott or myself, which you probably don't. But if you want to
We
talk
can't
about
answer
the
them, but
Commotion by
maybe
the
they
Ocean
can.
ride, yes, 877-792-1090 or 858-457-1090. More Bike Week Radio Show heading your way next, right here on San Diego Sports Leader, Mighty 1090.
Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys are the real deal.
Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys.
Their entire practice is dedicated to representing motorcyclists. As riders themselves, they understand why you ride, the issues you face, and the motorcycle culture. For over 30 years, Russ Brown and his partner Chuck Coro have been helping injured motorcyclists and their families get the care and compensation they deserve. Russ Brown Motorcycle Attorneys also created BAM.
BAM.
A nationwide buddy system of over 2 million riders helping riders in the event of a roadside emergency. BAM offers free legal advice, and thanks to Russ Brown, they have staff on hand to take your call 24/7, 365 days a year.
Imagine a real person answering the phone 24/7.
Just call 1-800-4BIKERS for more information and to get your BAM card today. If you go down,
Call Russ Brown.
1-800-4BIKERS and online at russbrown.com.
Here's an idea. Bear with me. You could save quite a bit of money just by switching your motorcycle insurance to Geico. Piles of it, in fact. But there may not be a lot of room on your bike for all that extra cash. So I had somewhat of an idea. You could get one of those nifty little sidecars, pile it up with all that money you just saved, and merrily drive on your way. It's just a thought. Just off the top of my head.
Call Geico today for a free motorcycle rate quote. Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
This is Bike Week Radio Show with Bobby Wooldridge, Broc Glover, and Paul Carruthers on San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Shout out to Adam Clark, a pro's pro. Boom, on top of the
Doesn't
show.
get any better than Adam.
Adam Clark, always taking care of us here on
AC.
Bike Week Radio Show. Not an easy job back there on the wheels
It's
of steel.
impossible.
Especially keeping up with these
apparently nobody
egomaniacs in
else can do
studio.
it.
Yeah.
Nobody else can do it. Adam can do it.
No, yeah. We've had people try to
And
run
look at
Bike
him.
Week
He's an
Radio Show.
Adonis.
Indeed.
Compared to the first day I met him. Look at that guy. He's cut.
You know who DJ'd his wedding?
Who's that?
You're looking at him.
You know what? What a compliment.
Adam and his lovely bride Jenny.
I
They
would
had
have paid
a fantastic
admission
wedding.
to see that.
It was a great day.
Were they out there bumping?
Indeed. You know what they didn't have, though?
What?
They didn't have Chicken Charlie's.
Ah!
They didn't have Chicken Charlie's at the wedding, unfortunately.
I want to hear more about Chicken Charlie's.
Well, the San Diego County Fair is coming here June 5th through July 5th. You can spend July 4th at the fair.
Why not?
What's more American than that?
Nothing.
I can't think of anything. And so, yes, if you've ever been to the San Diego Fair, Chicken Charlie's is one of my favorite spots there. That's the one that's got deep fried, insert whatever you want.
Deep fried space here.
What are they? Oreos?
Deep fried Oreos.
That's the best?
Those are the best.
It's hard to match that. But, the other items
So
are
good.
interesting. Now,
They just
Bobby,
get creative.
you didn't like the deep fried pickles just from the standpoint of there was a chance it could be healthy.
Slightly too healthy for me. I think they got deep fried Snickers and then they get
That's a standard. That's
not
part
even
of
their
the deep fried food groups.
I think they got do they also have the giant like chicken or turkey leg or whatever that's the size of like a baby?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's insane.
It comes in its own diaper.
Yeah. And I can't commit to that though because I want to spread out exactly all the boost. So I can't. I always wanted to carry around the big turkey leg, but it's just too much to commit to one item.
But plus nowadays, Mama Woo isn't there with the with the wet naps to clean you up afterwards.
And then you go on the rides after. It's So
can you still pitch dimes there and win ashtrays and stuff?
Ashtrays? No, I don't.
That was a highlight of my youth.
Yeah, I don't think
I'd come home with a stack of ashtrays from my dad. Look what I won. Only cost me $40.
Probably a goldfish.
Yeah.
I'll bet you we still have some of those ashtrays at my house.
And the only way to truly experience the San Diego County Fair is to sign up for the 13th annual Commotion by the Ocean motorcycle ride. That's Saturday, June 20th. Registration closes by the 15th, though, so time is running short. You only got a couple weeks to sign up. $20 entry fee gets you fair admission, gets you parking and a swag bag, and the experience
They're
of riding in.
paying you to go to
you
the
skip
San
the
Diego
entire
County
line
Fair.
of
Yeah.
waiting for parking and looking for parking. You go right to the front
you're like
line.
waved through. They open the gates, you go through, people are going, wow, what's this? This must be the guys. I wonder if this is the Ball of Death guys. I'd be wearing my Ball of Death jacket that day.
Yeah,
And,
put me in the cage.
Yeah.
And Mike's a good guy. Mike,
he's the best.
A hell of a rider.
And even
but he's
road
not going to
gear
leave
on a
anybody
bike.
in the dust. I
don't
could,
know.
If it was me leading the ride, we might never get there. I'd get lost.
There's a chance of that.
but Mike's going to take good care of everybody. And active military. What's the price for that, Mike?
Zero.
Zippo, nada.
Absolutely free. And so even if you aren't active military, if you're listening to the program right now, tell your friends. I mean,
spread the word.
They got to sign up for this incredible ride. And we also have some tickets to give away.
Oh yeah.
And so we got how many pairs did you bring in for us, Teea?
5 pairs.
5.
Let's give away one, and we'll give away some during the week. We also want them back before this event to kind of give us a Commotion by the Ocean update. What do you think?
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So, and we're giving away a entry into the
That's
Commotion
right.
by the Ocean ride.
A lucky rider is going to win entry, so that person can show up, that rider, he or she.
Yes, he or she.
In fact, if it is a he should recruit a she, and vice versa. If she wins, she should recruit he to come and do a paid admission. How's that?
And we'll give you the more details on that maybe by the end of the show, maybe
we
through
can do that.
Facebook page.
We'll be doing all that. We'll pump it up. This has now become our event.
And so let's head out to the hotline right now. We got Phil calling in. Phil, good morning.
Hey, man, how are you?
Very good. And Phil, obviously with his hand out, already as soon as we say we're giving
Smart
something
man.
away, people start calling 877-792-1090 or 858-457-1090. Phil, what's going on?
No, I'm just hanging out today, listening to the radio show, and I actually listen on the app, and I heard you guys saying you're giving away tickets, so I want some tickets.
Cool.
Well, just because you're listening through that Bike Week Radio Show smartphone app, if you don't have it, all you got to do, also free, all you got to do is head to the App Store, type in Bike Week Radio Show. You can check out podcasts. You can stream the show.
You know,
can
and a cool
interact with
thing
us.
is the app, the way it works is the 4 latest shows are queued up right there. You can retrieve every show, but we've got every show archived, every interview archived. You can search them, so
Well,
it's becoming more and more popular.
Phil, what's do you ride yourself?
I used to. I got whacked.
No. Still a fan,
But
though.
no, I'm still I'm a motorcycle fan, and once it's in your blood, you don't really let it go. But unfortunately, I had an accident. Because motorcycles are dangerous and all, but at the same time, they give you a lot of freedom. I'm still a fan. I still digging it. You know what I mean?
Well, cool. Phil, for calling in and being ahead of the game and listening through the Bike Week Radio Show smartphone app and getting in and out of your car, we're going to give you a pair of tickets to the San Diego Fair. Sit on hold for us. Adam Clark will get your info. Thank you, Phil.
Cool.
Perfect.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for
problem.
listening.
Also, Guy in Point Loma calling Bike Week Radio Show. Good morning, Guy.
Good morning, you guys. How you guys doing?
We're doing good.
What's
how,
up, Guy?
How is it in Point Loma today?
It's a little overcast, but it's going to be a beautiful day like always.
Nice. You know, there's a lot of military guys down there in the Point Loma area.
A lot of Navy.
Yeah, a lot of Navy. They can
A lot of
participate
Navy.
for free.
Support your troops.
Yep, and we do.
Awesome.
So what's up, Guy?
Well, just real excited about being on the show and like to talk about the Commotion by the Ocean. It's like a great event.
None better. 13th annual.
13th annual.
I'm all fired up.
And plus it ends up, I mean, you go from a great place, Biggs Harley-Davidson in San Marcos, and you end up
at the fair.
San Diego County Fair.
Guy, do you?
I almost said Del Mar Fair. San Diego County Fair in Del Mar. How's that, Teea?
Very good.
Yeah.
Guy, do you ride as well?
I do. I ride dual sports. I ride off-road. I do lots of enduro stuff up in Tecate.
Well, I'll bet Tecate is nice this weekend. After all that
They
rain.
did a big ride today up there to Agua Caliente on the other
Sí.
side of Ensenada
Claro.
at the Horsepower Ranch.
Really nice. Yeah, that's heaven down there.
Tommy Trocchio and those guys are up there right now.
Tommy T. We love that
Tommy.
guy.
Well,
You betcha.
Well, Guy, since you're a rider, since you're listening to Bike Week Radio Show, we'll also give away one pair of tickets to the San
That's
Diego
fair
County
enough.
Fair.
Sure.
And so, guys, sit on hold. Our boy Adam will take care of you and get your information. We'll get you a pair of tickets, and we'll hopefully see you down at the fair.
Thanks for listening,
Hey,
Guy.
Thank you so much. Awesome show. Keep up
Thank
the
you.
work.
Alrighty. Well, we are drawing short on time, about 90 seconds or so left in the program. We got to thank Mike, Lindsey, and Teea Wyatt coming here in studio. Not only do they come in studio and bring themselves, they bring presents on top of that. Too good to us.
We
Just too good to
love
us.
in-studio guests like you guys.
Doesn't get any better than that.
It just doesn't.
No. I mean, the last couple times we've been getting lucky. We got the guys from Dofo Winery in Temecula came by and gave us some wine. We got these guys coming by bringing us fair tickets and potentially food.
How
That
about
is
some
what it'll lead to.
Dofo wine with some of those deep-fried items? Huh?
I might be a good
How
pair
about,
up.
how about a deep-fried Oreo with a glass of wine?
I could handle it.
Huh? I think Pat Cox would like that.
Indeed.
Can you dip that cookie into the wine? And,
Sure.
Like
They
a
probably
glass of
have a
wine?
specialty wine for that.
Well, Mike, once again, thank you so much for joining us in studio, and we'll be excited to see everybody heading up to Biggs Harley-Davidson in San Marcos. Again, 13th annual Commotion by the Ocean motorcycle ride, Saturday, June 20th, $20 entry fee. And where can people sign up once more?
SDfair.com.
SDfair.com. Check
She's
it
got
out.
Good, she's got a great radio voice.
Indeed. Paul Carruthers, you've been cut. Teea Wyatt stepping in from now on. Active duty military, once again, free, covers admission to the fair, parking, as well as a little swag bag heading your way. So, again, keep us updated. We want to see photos, lots of photos.
Got to see some photos. In fact, we'll do a photo related. We're going to work on a couple promotions here to give away these pairs of tickets this coming week.
Mm-hmm.
And again, let's see you guys before the event, so we can maybe the weekend before the event and chat the thing up, get people excited, huh?
And
It's
so,
a date.
Stay tuned to the Bike Week Radio Show Facebook page. If you don't follow us, shame on you. There's a lot of good stuff. We're going to be giving away the remaining 3 pairs of tickets to the San Diego Fair, as well as that grand prize, free entry into the 12th annual Commotion by the Ocean
And we'll
ride.
continue to give away our new Bike Week Radio Show logo T-shirts.
Indeed. So stay tuned to that Bike Week Radio Show Facebook page. We'll be back next Sunday. Tom White will be joining us. We're going to Tom White's pad in 2 weeks, but next week we're going to give a little call-in.
Yeah.
Preview the whole
Absolutely.
shindig.
And we're going to report in on the Glen Helen stop.
Broc Glover will be
San
back.
Bernardino.
Paul
Yep,
Carruthers
we'll all
will
be
back.
here.
So the whole gang back in studio next Sunday. Thank you so much for checking out the program. Stay tuned for more right here on the Mighty 1090 San Diego Sports Leader.
You've been listening to Bike Week Radio Show.
Powered by Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance.
Join us next week for more Bike Week Radio Show on San Diego's sports leader, the Mighty 1090.